mind-boggling hospital charges that might show up on your bill. How about this? $400 for one of those bland hospital dinners.
Well, today we're looking at something that hospitals have been getting away with for years. Elizabeth Cohen has our special report live from Atlanta this morning. And boy, when you started doing some digging, I mean, you just found some of the most outrageous charges.
Oh, we sure did. What we found is sort of a few examples of what PricewaterhouseCoopers says is $1 trillion of wasteful spending in the United States. I challenge you, look up a hospital bill and you'll see how all those little numbers add up. When you or I go shopping for a toothbrush, how much do we pay? $2, $3, maybe $4? Well, guess what one hospital once charged a patient for a toothbrush? $1,000. Can you believe it? $1,000 for a toothbrush. And you know who ends up paying for that? You and I. We end up paying for it. It comes out of our pocket in one way or another. And that's not the only crazy hospital cost I've run into. Come on, come with me. And at the store, how much does a bottle of Tylenol cost? $10 for 100 pills. Well, we know of someone who at the hospital was charged $140 for one Tylenol. Can you believe it? $140 for this. Now, here's a box of disposable gloves. When you buy them here at this store, they come out to 24 cents a pair. But I know of a hospital that charged $53 for a pair of gloves. That's right, $53 for a pair of disposable gloves. What the heck is going on here? So I'm here in the home office of a medical billing advocate. This is Cindy Holtzman, and she helps people cull through all of these crazy charges, and she has all sorts of examples. I got to tell you, Cindy, this is one of my favorite ones. This is just like a little alcohol prep swab. We've all had these. How much did a hospital charge for these ones?
$23 a piece.
$23 for this little tiny piece of cotton.
And on one bill, there were 44 of them. Becomes very expensive.
Oh, my goodness. But this isn't even the craziest thing you've ever seen. Tell me about one of your crazier charges.
Well, recently I had somebody that was charged for 41 IV bags when she went to the ER for a 2-hour visit.
Oh, yes, you heard that right. A woman went to the emergency room with a migraine headache, and they gave her one bag of saline, and then they charged her for 41 bags of saline to the tune of $4,182. Now, the really crazy thing about this is that her insurance company actually paid this bill. They didn't even question it. So why did her insurance company pay for this when it was obviously wrong?
There's not many people working at these companies anymore. They're very busy, and usually any kind of bill that's under $100,000, they don't look at the detail.
So they just write a check.
They just write a check.
Now, that woman who was charged the $4,000 for the saline bag she never had, she brought it to the attention of the hospital, and they did reverse those charges. John, Kieran?
Yeah, but you got to have an eagle eye, I guess, and check that out. Make sure you're looking at your bill. I mean, you have a book out called The Empowered Patient, trying to help people sort of navigate some of this. If someone gets stuck with a bill like this, how do they avoid paying it?
Okay, well, you just said the first thing, which is you have to have an evil eye. Go through that bill and see if you can catch anything crazy like 41 bags of saline. Secondly, even if the charge is legitimate, it's a real charge, please do challenge it. Absolutely. You should go ahead and challenge it, because I've been told that when people try to negotiate with hospitals, it usually works. And you should remember, even if you have insurance, you still should challenge it, because let's say you have a 20% copay. Well, of course, you'd rather pay 20% of a smaller bill than of a bigger bill.
You know, that $140 for the single Tylenol pill was really amazing. That would make that bottle of 100 worth $14,000. Why do hospitals think that they can get away with this? I guess maybe it's because they can.
That's exactly why they do it, because they can. As we heard in the story, insurance companies are kind of too busy to challenge something like a $140 Tylenol pill. But another thing to keep in mind is that hospitals know that they probably won't get everything that they're charging. Insurance companies will say at the outset, I know you charge $140 for a Tylenol, but we're not going to pay you that much. Patients challenge them, so they know that they're not always going to get what they ask for, so they ask for something this high, knowing that eventually they might get something, this high.
Unfortunately, it seems like a waste of time and administrative, costs on top of it all. I mean, are there any, caps on how much you can mark up something?
In